My buddy Patrick and I are buddies since we were in grade school. He's the guy who makes the crowd laugh, while I try to stay professional, yet at the end, I end up just like him, making jokes and lighting up the atmosphere with our dumb remarks and random thoughts. As we got older, Patrick got married, have 2 kids and a wife. I also got married and had 2 kids of my own with a beautiful wife. The time came for him to start searching for his forever house. While things didn't go as he planned, his parents had a house located meters away from his parents' house. Patrick took the whole year renovating the family house, and in no time he finished. Behind his house is a creek. One day he called me up and said, "Bro, do you want to fix this creek up so we can have the kids play and cool down during the summer?" I thought fixing up the creek was a great idea. We set up a date and I headed his way. When we were younger, I had great memories with the little creek that ran across his property. Back then we would hang out with other kids and chill at the creek. At such a young age, I remember the creek being somewhat of good size and depth. It's funny how things are rather large when you're a kid. Patrick and I started planning out what we should do to make the creek more appealing. "Well, let's go see the creek first," I told him. Walking to the creek, it was much smaller than what I remembered and anticipated. We wanted the area of the creek we were going to fix up deeper, so we started digging. We blocked off a part of the creek to slow down the water, and in a couple hours, the water had got to knee deep. "Seems about right," he said. There were 2 large trees beside the area we had cleaned up. It looked perfect for a swing spot. With the idea of a swing, we got busy and created a swing right on top of the creek. The kids loved it. The swing never stopped swinging. It was a blast that day. Night came and I left. The following weekend he called me back and wanted more work to be done. I took my kids to the creek and so did Patrick. The weirdest thing happened. I'd noticed the swing, swinging by itself. There was no breeze. There had to be pretty strong wind, which I would have noticed to get the swing to move like that. Plus, the weather was great. Nobody was near it. The swing kept at it. The swing would slow down when I glanced at it. I noticed the kids talking to the swing. Kids, in their imagination, I thought to myself. A second thought ran across me. Feeling less confident in my eyes, I walked away from the swing and tapped Patrick on the shoulder. "Hey, take a look at that homemade swing," I whispered. Patrick stared at it, and sure enough, that swing was still moving. By this time, our kids had walked away from the swing. Patrick and I got our kids, and we decided to leave. Walking back, I was behind Patrick. He was talking to me, and while he turned around to look at me, he screamed, "Ghost!" Dude started a sprint toward his house, dragging his 2 boys with him. His high-pitched scream scared the shit out of me. I did exactly what anyone would have done too. I ran, with Patrick running faster than his 2 boys. The 3 of them slipped and fell 2 times running up the hill. It was a funny sight to see. When we both reached his back porch, Patrick said he saw a little girl with long hair sitting on the swing. He said the girl didn't turn to look at him, but he knows that thing was not one of our kids, or any kids he knew. He could see the little girl's hands, pale and chappy. I questioned him on what he saw. He sure did look like he saw a ghost. To calm him down, I suggested we go back and cut the swing down if he's really telling the truth. "Shit isn't normal," I told him. With high fake spirits, Patrick stayed close behind me while we stormed back to the creek. We tore the swing down so fast. It must have been minutes only. We grabbed all the wood and rope and headed back to his house. Walking up the hill to his house, a chilling breeze swept through us. Then a loud rattle came from behind us. The leaves rustled. Patrick and I looked at each other, scared. At that very moment, a whisper came from the creek. It whispered, "Why did you do that? I'm still here." Literally holding our shits, we took off towards Patrick's house. We talked about what we heard and what he saw. We came to an agreement that maybe it was Samuel, our loudmouth brother-in-law, was making fun of our swing and how the swing's going to keep swinging even after everyone stops using it. With the swing gone, I brushed it off. The next day I got a phone call early in the morning. It was 6 in the morning. Patrick had hesitation in his voice. Dude said he had a dream about the creek. A little girl about the age of 5 greeting him at the creek. The girl was very mad and asked him why did he destroy her swing. Patrick tried explaining to her that the creek never had a swing and he built it for his kids. So if he wants to take it down, he has every right to. The girl, furious, ran at him and jumped on him, trying to strangle Patrick. The both of them fell down, and that's when Patrick woke up. Then he called me. I told him he's thinking way too much. It will all go away if he just stopped thinking about it. Patrick emphasized on the swing and said, "We should go back and fix it." I totally disagreed. "You can do it yourself if you want." I laughed. "You know what's weird?" he said. "I see what looks to be wet footprints leaving my room." I followed the wet spots. It led to the living room window. I told him it's probably a cat, or he was sleepwalking while pissing. He sounded irritated at my stupid answer. We talked for a few minutes, then hung up the phone. He never did fix the swing. He did, however, dream a few more times. His third dream horrified me as well. Patrick dreamed that he had walked alone to the creek. When he got to the creek, the same little girl was playing at the creek. Her long black hair covered half her face. The girl looked at Patrick with a salamander on her hand. She ate the salamander, then smirked a gruesome smile. Her face looked old, her teeth rotten. She yelled out, "Stop coming here." Patrick froze until the girl crawled up the creek. Patrick ran up the hill to his house. He turned one last time before entering his house. The girl stood by the creek, simply waving goodbye. He said it's definitely a real ghost. Patrick told me it's been a long time since he's had another dream about the creek. He still wants to fix the creek up, despite the situation. I want to help, but I don't know if I want to make a swing, though. I doubt he will have a swing. I still go to his house. We still take the kids to the creek. Patrick and I, however, have not told anyone about what happened on those days. I bet he peed his pants and sharted a little. Hopefully, with all the traffic and commotion of our family and friends enjoying the creek with Patrick, nothing will come bad of the creek, or should I say, property. Creeks can be so pleasant, yet your imagination can run wild. How would you go about this situation? Thank you for listening to these true scary stories. Again, like, share, subscribe, and stay shivering.